Hey, this is Vernon Davis, and you're tuned in to Rolling Out.
And speaking about your personal experience in the NFL, I wanted to ask you, how difficult was it for you to step away from the game? You announced your retirement. Your last season was with Washington, I believe, in
Uh,
2019. You announced a retirement February 2020. Just how difficult was that for you to officially step away from the game?
Yeah, stepping away from the game was extremely difficult for me because I knew what I wanted to do, but I was still you still have that fear of what if, right? What if this doesn't happen? What if that doesn't happen? So if I do this, then what happens after that? And that's how I felt. So I went in and I had a buddy of mine named Marcus Smoot. He had a film and I read the script. I was like, I can do this. So as soon as I retired, I got with my acting coach, Kevin Benton from Tasha Smith from T-Saw, Tasha Smith Studio. And I started working with him. We worked 3 days a week, 3 hours a day, and we put the time in. I mean, we were doing activities and we broke down the script and we were just, pretty much developing this character. And after about a month went by and I went out to Colorado and we filmed the movie. And then I got another film. Then I got another script from a buddy of mine named Deshaun Hardy, who's a former ball player. He sent it over. It's got Message from Brianna, which we completed and it made it into the ABFF. So, the journey's been amazing. Then right after that, I got called to do Dancing with the Stars. And then I got another film that I was in right after that. And it just kept going on and on. It was like a snowball effect. One thing after another. Boom, 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 boom.
Right. And like with Kobe, I remember after he retired and he was getting into what he was getting to, he said he just pretty much attributed like all the hard work that he put in basketball and just put that into business and his post-career ventures. I guess when you said you put that time in with your acting coach when you first retired and you got your acting coach right when you retired, do you think that you use all those things that you learned from football, the work ethic, and just applied it to your post-career, kind of ambitions and stuff?
Yeah. I think anything in life is all work ethic. I mean, you can be the smartest guy in the classroom, but if you have the best work ethic, you're going to excel above and beyond the person who's the most intelligent, because it's the work. It's all about applying yourself, applying pressure. And what I learned from football, I'm taking that same formula and I'm putting it into whatever else there is that I decide to do, which I've been doing, which is the time, just repetitive, just everything being repetitive. Like if you get a script, I want to repeat that dialogue 1,000 times before I go on set, so I know it just like that. Not only that, I want to do all the due diligence that I possibly can on this character when I'm breaking it down. I want to know where I'm coming from, where I'm coming from, and where I'm going. I want to know everything that I need to know. I want to know right now before I get in front of that camera. So yeah, it's just a work ethic. Just applying that work ethic to whatever it is that you're doing.
There are a lot of aspiring actors out there just in the world and stuff today. If you had to give them maybe 2 or 3 tips for beginning actors, what would those tips be?
I think just really making sure you, because a lot of actors, even myself, I just wanted to just go into it, into the craft and just do it, right? Not knowing anything. But it's like everything comes with instructions. You want to know the instructions. You want to know what you're doing. So get an acting coach and learn how to act. Then find a manager. You can go on Google or whatever and find a manager. And then once you find the right manager, they'll lead you to an agent. So now you have all the components that you need to be able to get into doors that you want to go into, right? So I think that's a good process for someone who's just starting out.
Was there ever an identity crisis, maybe like towards the end of your career? I know you said when you did retire, you knew what you wanted to move into, but like at the end of your, last few years, say the Washington years, what was there ever any like, oh, what's next? What was there any of that?
No, I never really said what's next because I've always been a firm believer in doing whatever it is that you want to do, you do it now. So when I was playing ball, I'd already had Jamba. I was already an investor and owner in Jamba Juice. I was a franchisee, and then I started acting. I had a small role in Baywatch and 2 other films that I was in. So I did that. I just wanted to start doing the things that I knew I was going to get into. I bought some real estate while I was playing. I left San Francisco, found some property in Washington, D.C., bought those properties. And then prior to that, I had already been in a few other investments, and I had some real estate in Union Square in downtown San Francisco. So I was already familiarizing myself with the things that I knew I wanted to get into.
And you know, so often people are always talking about the young Black athlete and, you know, financial literacy and, you know, kind of a lack of resources. You know, they give you a couple day, you know, thing once you first get into the league and stuff like that, a seminar, and give you a billion things to take care of. But I guess for you, where did that financial literacy kind of education come from? Did it come from one of your veterans on the team? Did it come from, you know, who did it come from for you?
Well, you can get all the financial literacy in the world. You can get it from anywhere. You can get all. It goes back to, what do you want for yourself? How do you see yourself? Because you can take in the financial literacy information, but are you obtaining it? Or are you doing something with it? So for me, my approach was surrounding myself with people, like-minded people who I wanted to emulate and be like. So I started to do that. I started going to conferences, the CES conference, Consumer Electronics shows. Started learning and asking questions of those who were above me, right, when it comes to business and intellect of understanding like different things in business. So I did that, and then from there I started to learn. I started to put pieces together, and I brought all those pieces here in front of me. I said, okay, here we go.
Well, what is the importance of ownership?
The importance of ownership is ownership allows you to have flexibility, freedom. It allows you to have control over something, right? When you own something, you have control, and you want control over everything, because if you have control, you make the decisions, you dictate, you control the narrative, you know what you want to do and how you want to do it. Now you don't have to answer to anyone and rely on someone else to make this right when you already know. But do you have the ability and the control to be able to do this, maneuver things and dictate what really happens? Are you the one allowing this company to pivot? Like, you know, you really don't have any say so unless you have the ownership.
At what point of your life did you know that creativity was that you were a creative person? I'll just start off with that. At what point of your life did you realize that you were creative?
I didn't learn that I was creative until my sophomore year of college. I switched my major, and I started to, my buddy was in the class with me. He was like, gosh, you're actually pretty good. I stepped back and said, I am, huh? You think so? I looked at that. So that's when I fell in love with the world of art. And then when I was in San Francisco, I enrolled into a class at the Shelton Theater of Art, downtown San Fran. And it was a improv class. And I just fell in love even more. I was like, wow, this is great. This is awesome. So I started to pursue that whole entertainment space in the world of creativity.
Right. And you know, just for the people now, what do you have going now? What are all the plays, or, you know, movies, films and stuff? Excuse me, I slipped up saying plays, but you know, just what are all the things that you have acting in right now?
Yeah, so Message from Beyond made it into the ABFF, which is pretty cool. That's a project that I produced along with my partner Deshaun Hardy, and I had the lead role in, play character named Leonard, which is pretty cool. I didn't expect it to make it into the festival, but it did. So that was a great experience, and it was very rewarding, because it was like one of the first projects that I took on after retirement. Then from there, went on and did a movie with Morgan Freeman called Muti that's coming out in 2022. Got another film with John Malkovich, Thomas Mann, Shane West called Chariot, which is a dark comedy, sci-fi. We have Day to Die with Bruce Willis, Frank Grillo, Leon. That's it, Kevin Dillon. And then another movie that I did called Gasoline Alley with Bruce Willis and Luke Wilson. So a lot of projects. And there's a show coming out that I have that I'm a judge on for 10 episodes called Domino Masters, along with Eric Stonestreet, Danica McKellar, and another judge, Steve Price. That's going to be a terrific show. I can't wait for that to come out as well.
And that show that you're judging on, is that going to be on Fox? What network is that on?
That show is Fox.
Okay. All right. And you named some pretty big names there, Bruce Willis and Morgan Freeman. I guess just what is first things first, who is the greatest football player that you played with? I'll set it up like that.
The greatest football player that I've ever had a chance to play with is Randy Moss. Randy Moss. I mean, we all know about Randy Moss, and we know where he stands when it comes to the records and accolades and all those things. But yeah, he was probably the greatest player that I've played with.
And then, okay, who is? Oh, sorry, hold on, give me a second here. Let me just.
Oh, and I'm gonna say Peyton Manning as well. Peyton Manning.
Oh, Peyton Manning. Okay. I'm glad I had that little fumble.
Yeah,
So you can say
Peyton Manning and Randy Moss.
Okay, all right. So, who is the greatest actor that you've ever worked with?
Morgan Freeman and Bruce Willis. Greatest actors I've ever been around, worked with, was Morgan Freeman and Bruce Willis.
Okay, so now here comes the question. How do you compare a Peyton Manning and a Randy Moss to a Bruce Willis and a Morgan Freeman? Like, kind of what are some of the things that you see in those two?
I see there's a lot of correlations when it comes to the greatest athlete to one of the greatest actors, right, of all time. They have the same thing. They have a relentless approach. They only see it one way, and they see nothing but greatness. They see everything that they do is so it's detailed, and they know it. They know when they walk on set, they know what they're going to do. They know what they're going to bring to the table because they've done it a million times, right? That's why they're in the position that they're in now, because they know of doing something over and over and over. It's a repetitive nature, repetitive habits. Those repetitive habits that they have, they do it all the time. They see things, they visualize things happening before they start. They're really analytical. They want to know exactly what's going on. They want to know what's happening. They want to be equipped with all the tools that they need to have in order to be great. They want it. They seek it. They do it all the time. And to them, it's a hobby. It's not work. So those are that is the formula that a lot of these great athletes and entertainers have. It's the same thing, same process.
Well, that was my follow-up. You mentioned that it's not work for them. It's fun. So for you, how fortunate do you feel to have a life where you started off football player and now you're still in entertainment and doing what you love, continuing that passion in life?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's amazing, man. I'm pretty young in this industry when it comes to the entertainment space. I've been doing a little bit of it, but I have a long way to go. But to be able to start the way I'm starting I'm very grateful. I mean, I would have never known that I would get the opportunity to work alongside Morgan Freeman. I mean, if you had told me that when I was a child, I thought you were joking. I was like, no, there's no way. How am I? I haven't even done anything, and you're telling me I want to work alongside Morgan Freeman, and I'm going to be able to be in a film with Bruce Willis? There is no way. There's no chance. But I'm big on energy. I'm big on the law of attraction. I'm big on just having the things, being a part of the things that you deserve to be a part of. You know what I mean? You're not going to be a part of something that you don't deserve to be a part of. It doesn't happen that way. You have to be deserving of those things. And, that's why I can say is just say I'm extremely grateful. I don't know why. We never really know why things shape out the way they are. We don't know until the end, right? And then you look back and be like, oh wow, I see why that happened. I see why I was introduced to this person. You know what I mean? So to be able to learn and get that information and work alongside great people is always a plus.
How inspirational is it for you to see other former players and other former athletes cross over into other spaces successfully, like a guy like a Matthew Cherry, a guy like the Bennett brothers and stuff like that? How inspirational is that for you from afar?
Oh, it's pretty inspirational to see guys go from one space to another, because it doesn't happen that way. Sometimes you get a lot of like athletes who want to be entertainers. They'll make that transition, but they won't finish, right? Maybe they get bored or they want to do something else. We see a lot of people doing other things. Like it could be anything. Like Yeah, but so you have to be, it has to be a connection. It has to be something that starts inside of here. It has to be here from the beginning of time. If it's not, then it's probably not meant for you.
When you talk about that energy and when you talk about something that's within you, I guess, what do you do for your spirit? Do you have any time of meditation? Do you have these kind of like thankful graciousness exercises? How do you cleanse and keep your spirit pure?
I think breathing and just reinforcing, reiterating things in my mind. Yeah, I self-talk. Self-talk is always good. Yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm very spiritual, God-fearing. And I just make sure that I tell myself, and if I do something that's a little out of the ordinary for myself that I'm not accustomed to doing, or maybe I make a mistake, I just talk to myself and tell myself, as long as I'm going to get back on track, I am going to get back on track. I'm going to do better. I'm going to be better. Because you have to do that, because if not, you just beat yourself up.
How important is that in particular for Black men? The suicide rates are so high for men in general, but Black men especially, because they have to, well, they feel like they have to compact so many things in. But how important is that for Black men to self-talk and self-love
Yeah, I think for Black men, it's very important for us to be able to use self-talk and visualize things. Visualization is very extremely important, because it's like, how many times you ever talk about somebody or I don't know, just mention or just think about somebody and they pop up. We say it all the time. Oh, just talking about you. That is crazy, right? It's because it's the law of attraction. It's the law. So if we visualize and manifest these things into our life, we're going to have them all the time. But it's unbelievable that a lot of us, we don't do that, especially Black men. We're just going with our day. So it's very important that we really streamline things and we prioritize and we do the necessary things that it takes for our spirit and our self-being and just self-talking and not being afraid to be vulnerable, because it boils back down to vulnerability. You have to be vulnerable enough to be able to do these certain things, because when something's not normal and it doesn't seem like it's right and we're not used to it, we're afraid of it. We don't want to do it because it's not something that we're used to, like visualizing and self-talking. That's not normal. It's not normal to do that. We're taught these things and we learn these things along the way. So I encourage our Black men and our Black people in general to be able to be vulnerable enough to be able to do things that they're not accustomed to doing, because it's only going to help you to be better.
Vernon, I appreciate it so much. Wrapping up now, I wanted to ask you how, producing, you say you produced a film that's in the film festival coming up now. How has producing helped you with acting, and how has, I guess, acting helped you see the lens from the producer side?
Yeah, I think it all goes hand in hand. I mean, when you see it as a producer, you kind of you see like the camera angles and you see the different things, and when you look at a film that you've been in, when you look at it 20, 30 times, you start to see certain things and you catch certain things. So now, as an actor, like, gosh, I could have done this better. Oh, I didn't see it this way when I was acting, but now I see it. And you see yourself. So it allows you to be better on each side, even from the shots that you're taking, you know what I mean? And from being around the director, saying what he wants, knowing certain things, like, knowing where to stand, position yourself. The camera's right here. You know what I mean? You don't want to stand too far this way. You want to stand over this way. It's just the little tricks, little things. You know what I mean? So
For sure. And I guess just you already gave a rundown of all your acting stuff that you have going on. And you mentioned it briefly earlier in the interview, but just for, to make sure we have all our bases covered on the ownership side, on the business side, what are all the business things that you have going on right
now? Business side, I own tons of real estate. I have a production company, Real 85 Productions, and Between the Lines Productions that I started. The movie called, I'm a co-producer on the film called Yacht. I talked about the real estate. I'm a Jamba Juice franchisee, and I'm an investor. I'm pretty much an investor. I'm on platforms. It's just so much. Sometimes I forget. I'm all over the place. I'm interested in so many different things, but even different things, I still try to make sure that I have a cast of people around me to help me really vet these things and do my due diligence to make sure it makes sense. And being an owner of a product called Riff, it's a beverage made from cascara. Cascara is the fruit of coffee. A lot of people don't know about it, but coffee comes in a little red fruit, and it's really toxic for the environment. People don't know that either. So what they've been able to do is create beverages using these fruit, which is high in energy, high in natural sugar, has natural sugar, high in caffeine. It has a tons of antioxidants, and it's actually good for you. It's a lot better than coffee because it's coming from the fruit. And I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome because it's in so many different ways. You're saving the population. You're saving the world from because you're stopping pollution, and you create more job opportunities, local farmers, because now these farmers can take this fruit and they're able to excel and bring in more revenue because they're selling the fruit and the coffee.
Wow. Wow. And then, like you say, you're helping out the environment and you're helping out the economy with providing jobs and everything like that. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
Called Path Water, which is pretty cool. I try to stay with keep it all about sustainability. Path Water is aluminum bottle. We're one of the we're doing a great job right now with getting out the product out there. And what I love about them is that they're saving the ocean, because it's all about getting rid of single-use plastic. And that's what Path Water is all about. That's their mission. That's what they stand for. And they're doing a terrific job in getting the product out there and showing people that, hey, aluminum is the way. And that's what I love about the brand.
Vernon, that's that was a nugget there. I did the research and whatever before the interview, but you still threw me off guard with that. It's like, wow, like people don't really see this side of Vernon Davis that much. And just, not just Vernon Davis, but a lot of retired athletes and stuff like that. I guess just where did this, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to insult like the jock stereotype, but like, where did this intelligence come from? Like, have you always been just an intellectual guy? And why don't you think that side is shown more in the public?
I think as a kid, I was reading this book. I got this book that I'm reading called Will. It's a book by Will Smith. And we're so similar, man, in our life. He talks about like how he was always bullied. People looked at him different because the things that he believed in. Instead of pulling up on a Huffy bike, he pulled up on a bike with big Will in the front, a little Will in the back, because he wanted to do something different. The different things that he enjoyed and he liked. He didn't think that it was different because he enjoyed it. And he also talked about how his fear has made him who he is, right? And I love this book. And he talks about his grandma, Gigi. My grandmother's name is Gigi. So all these things that he deal with, like I deal with it. I was the one with the different bike. I got bullied. I was picked on because I wanted to be different. I was afraid to walk to school with the canvas in my hand. That's why I didn't decide to pursue art until I got in college, because people make fun of me, right? Will and this book, I could have put my name on this book because my life is so similar to Will Smith. It's so crazy, man. It's unbelievable how many similarities we have. And it's unbelievable. This girl gave me this book. She said, I want you to read this book because when I read this book, I think about you. And I read it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is unbelievable. But yeah, man, it's awesome. This post-career has been amazing. I've done 23 different projects since I've been retired, and since February 2020. And I didn't think about that until my manager told me. He said, Vernon, I want you to go home and write down everything we've done because I can't keep up. So I wrote it down and I sent it to him. I was like, dude, do you realize, look at all this stuff we've done. This is crazy. This is crazy. So it's unbelievable with the shows. And, this on the 13th, I'm doing an episode on Iron Chef. And then next month, I'm going to do an episode in January. I'm going to do an episode on Name That Tune. I just finished Trace Atkins' show called The Ultimate Cowboy Showdown, where I learned to become a cowboy, right? I can professionally ride a horse and herd cattle. Like I did that. Dude, learn how to ride a horse and herd cattle on a horse. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just done that. I just did that. That was crazy. So yeah, we've done so much, man. We've done so many different things. We got so many things to look forward to in 2022. Hopefully it all comes out. It's going to be pretty cool.
Have you gotten in touch with Will Smith?
No, but I would love to meet him someday, man. It's crazy. Like, after reading this book, man, I'm like, man, I can't wait to meet this dude. I understand who he is and why he's doing what he's doing because of what he went through. Like, I went through some similar things, and it's crazy. Unbelievable.
Well, everybody, you guys know what you have to do. Everybody tag Will Smith down below. Hey, Vernon needs to meet Will. We need to make it happen. Everybody, Instagram, Facebook.
You know what I just thought about? Guess what?
Go ahead.
He's into getting rid of plastic.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, because his son does it too with the water, the Jaden Smith water.
Yeah, I got a film right now that Will would love, man. He would love this film that we made. My buddy and I, we got together and we created this docu series where we go underwater. We have the underwater cameras and stuff, and we're like exploring underwater with the animals and stuff. And it's all about plastic. It's about plastic. It's plastic versus planet. That's pretty much what it is.
But I mean, yeah, like you said, like that's something that Will's going for. But you know, his son as well, Jaden, with the whole Jaden water thing and the little
exactly.
We gotta make it happen. It's destiny. Everybody tag him right now below, right below. Let Will Smith know Vernon Davis is trying to remember Vernon Davis from the 40. Oh, Vernon Pro Bowler, the tight end. Yeah, we gonna make it happen, Vernon. We gonna make it happen for you. But I appreciate you so much for coming on. Definitely so many golden nuggets in this conversation. I love to have you back on eventually when you have the next thing going on. There it is. Right? See, he's not talking, he's not capping, Will. It's right there, Will. But I love to talk to you again whenever you have something else coming up, and I appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, y'all take care.